Welcome to the weekly MindSweep, number 203, Curated Conversation, Belonging. The breath your nervous system has been holding. Last week, after our final conversation on shame, I closed my laptop and sat there staring at Walter in the quiet of my in-laws' finished basement. He was sleeping soundly beside me after the previous day's 740 miles in the car. When the laptop clicked shut, he opened his eyes, took a deep breath in, and then let out a long exhale through his nose. I nodded in agreement and took the cue to do that for myself. I took a few more slow breaths and thought about our month on shame. Every single story we shared about old art scars, fawning, over-explaining, discomfort in raising rates, defending creativity, wanting to be understood, second-guessing our legitimacy, and questioning our value wasn't actually all just about shame. It was also about belonging. Not the external belonging of the younger version of us that whispered, "Do they like me?" but the quiet internal belonging that emerges the moment you finally allow yourself to take up space exactly as you are. When we landed on the idea that not being immediately understood did not equal not being enough, I swear our entire grid of Zoom faces softened at once. Because that is belonging. It's being misunderstood and choosing not to abandon yourself. It's standing inside your work without shrinking. It's letting your weirdness, your brilliance, your creative wiring be seen without scrambling to edit it for someone else's comfort. That was the thread beneath everything we shared, and for December, we're devoting our conversation to belonging. What does belonging really mean? Let's start by naming what belonging is not. Belonging is not approval. Belonging is not fitting in. Belonging is not contorting yourself into a version that feels digestible. Real belonging is the emotional safety that comes from recognizing yourself in the world you're building. It's the moment you stop convincing and start expressing. You stop proving and start being. And you stop apologizing and start choosing. Belonging looks like being seen without performance, valued without bargaining, understood without translation, held in community without having to shape, shift, or mask. And it looks like being with people who don't require you to be smaller, quieter, cheaper, or more reasonable. It's the moment someone says, "I get you," and your nervous system unwinds like they just handed you back your breath. But here's what we'll begin to explore this month. Belonging doesn't start with other people. It starts with how you belong to yourself. Why belonging feels like survival. From a neuroscience lens, belonging isn't a preference, it's survival. Your brain tracks social safety using the same neural networks it uses to track physical safety. So when you fear judgment, misunderstanding, or rejection, your amygdala activates the same threat response you'd feel if someone suddenly stepped in front of your moving car, which is why you might over-explain before anyone asks, discount your price preemptively, fawn instead of saying no, avoid visibility, shapeshift your language, tone, or energy to fit the room, step into perfectionism as protection. Your brain is asking, is it safe to be myself here? And for many of us, the historic answer to that question was no. What we're doing together in these curated conversations every Monday morning is rewiring that. The neural progression of creative confidence is awareness, safety, self-acceptance, belonging. This month isn't about finding where you belong. It's about noticing the moments when you leave yourself out of fear. Here are a few noticing tools to begin our month on belonging. Number one, the self-exit scan. Notice the exact moment you begin to shrink. When do you adjust your voice or tone? When do you soften your opinion? When do you lower your price in your head before you even say it out loud? When do you translate your creativity into more professional language? That moment is the doorway into belonging. Number two, the nervous system check-in. When entering a new space like a client consultation, a group meeting, or any conversation, ask, what would help my brain feel safer right now? A pause, a breath, maybe it's a boundary, a reminder, or a reframe. Belonging expands where safety begins. Number three, the ideal person reflection. Write down the people who get you and begin to look for the patterns. Your belonging is hiding in those commonalities. Number four, the creative permission slip. Finish this sentence for yourself. I feel most like myself when, and then ask, where in my business do I hide that part? Belonging requires visibility to yourself first. As our shame series ended, the chat lit up with lines like, this resonated so deeply. I feel seen here. I'm going to begin letting my freak flag fly. I realized I've been carrying other people's shame. And what struck me the most wasn't the vulnerability. We've already created a safe space for that. It was the familiarity. You weren't just sharing pain, you were recognizing each other. Your stories echoed one another, and the experiences mirrored one another. Your language synced with the same emotional frequency, and you felt seen. It reminded me of something Brené Brown once said. We don't negotiate our worth with the world, we carry it in. When she talks about worthiness, she names the difference between fitting in and belonging. Fitting in requires shape-shifting to be accepted by others. Belonging requires showing up as yourself so you can accept yourself. Worth is not a referendum. It's a foundation you walk in with. Most of us learn early on that our worth had to be earned, proven, justified, or granted by others. So we spent years trying to be good enough, agreeable enough, impressive enough, understandable enough. And in entrepreneurship, this becomes lowering your prices so clients say yes, over delivering so no one is disappointed, discounting your lived experiences, adding extras to feel legitimate, apologizing for your brilliance, fawning when challenged, shrinking your creative language to feel professional, and micromanaging yourself so no one sees the mess. All of that is a negotiation. All of that is asking the world to confirm something your nervous system was never taught to hold. Am I allowed to take up space? Belonging flips the question and becomes, I take up space because I am here. No performing, no discounting, no contorting into comfort for others. Belonging in business, creativity, relationships, and community begins the moment you stop negotiating your value and start living from it. You stop asking the world for permission to be who you already are. You carry your worth into the room and you don't wait for the room to stamp it approved. That is belonging. As last week's call wrapped up and each of you waved your goodbyes, I realized that we didn't create belonging by accident. We created it right here in Curated Conversation through awareness, honesty, and the courage to be seen, even when being seen feels risky. This month, we're going to turn that courage into clarity and explore how belonging shows up in your business, creativity, pricing, visibility, and self-trust. Not so you can fit in, but so you can finally feel at home in your work. Welcome to belonging, not as a destination you earn, but as the place you return to inside yourself again and again until it becomes home. My questions for you this week: where have you been negotiating your worth instead of embodying it? Who are the people in your life or work who make you feel like I don't have to translate myself here? Reply and share with me. Build belonging into your business. If this conversation stirred a recognition, a longing, a moment of, oh, I've been leaving myself behind, you don't have to navigate that alone. Belonging isn't just a feeling, it's a strategy, it's a nervous system state, and it's the foundation of every aligned business decision you'll ever make. In a MindSweep mapping session, we'll trace moments where you disconnected from yourself in your work, pricing, visibility, creativity, client dynamics, and map a way back to belonging that feels safe, grounded, and authentic to you. Together, we'll reconnect your values, your voice, your nervous system, your creative wiring, and the way your business supports the real you. If you're ready to stop shape-shifting and start showing up with clarity, confidence, and belonging, let's map your brain, your business mapped. You can go to my website at chickbookcreative.com to book a free MindSweep chat to learn more about this process. Or if you're ready to build something powerful, sustainable, and true to you, you can book a free consultation to explore how I can support you and your business and your brain as a strategist, creative partner, and thought partner who actually gets how you're wired. Visit chickbookcreative.com to learn more.